Supported decision-making is a life tool for independence. There are numerous reasons to establish a supported decision-making process. I say process because a supported decision-making plan is part of an overall process. Having a supported decision-making process can help a person with a disability avoid being under guardianship.
And about 10 years ago, I started getting phone calls from people with disabilities who were under a guardianship and they wanted to have the guardian removed. So as I began representing them in court to have the guardian removed, I realized that there was a common theme or thread across all of those cases, and that was in order for them to live their life without a guardian, they all relied upon the support of others to do things in all of their daily activities, whether it be managing money, reminders to take medication, how they were going to get around for transportation. And right about that same time, the concept of supported decision-making became more prevalent within the disability community, and we started within the office really using supported decision-making when we were looking at the cases of people who wanted to have their rights restored.
Studies show that supported decision-making increases a person's self-determination, meaning they have more control over their lives. Without a guardian, they are more independent, more integrated into their communities, healthier and better able to recognize and resist abuse. Additionally, they are more likely to have paid jobs, live independently, have friends other than staff or family, go on dates, socialize in the community, and practice the religion of their choice.
And then probably the most important thing that I talked to Jean about was, what is Jean's plan for living his life without a guardian? How would he make those day-to-day decisions? And so that requires some thinking and making sure that he could articulate that to the court, which he did beautifully when we had the hearing. The judge was very impressed with Jean. She included a lot of his answers in her court order, and I haven't seen that done very often. So it was a really great experience both for him and for me.
I want to briefly describe the process I went through in establishing my supported decision-making plan. I started by figuring out who my supporters are. Who are the people who see your gifts and presume you are competent? They are your supporters. Think broadly. Supporters can be found in many places. For my own plan, I used 6 categories. I focused on finances, work, medical and health, volunteering and leadership, leisure time, and housing. I used a basic framework in each category, essentially asking 3 questions. What do you already know? What do you need to know or want to know? And how do you want to be supported to have more control over the topic of the category?
I think it's important for people to identify the areas in their life that they may need support, and then figure out who can be the supporter. It may be the same person for all of these different areas. It may be different people for different areas. But if you think about it, people without disabilities have supporters in their life all the time. If we're thinking about buying a new car, we're going to talk to our neighbors and our friends to get their opinion and their ideas about what type of car we should buy.
Supported decision-making is, as I mentioned, a process, and it should be flexible. People making decisions get support regardless of whether or not they have a disability. The idea of supported decision-making for people with disabilities is to formalize that process we all go through. You may need to have more or different support depending on your situation. The most important aspect of supported decision-making is that you decide what areas you want help with and what kind of help you need. Decisions are not made for you, they are made by you.